right now. So we're doing a load in and a breakdown on the same day. And then, as if that weren't enough, we're coming back, and I'm going to pull some Genoa salami that has been in my Steakager charcuterie mode for 5 months, since April. So I got 2 small ones ready. We're going to pull that out. We're going to throw it on the slicer. We're going to see what we got. And of course, you feel free to ask any questions along the way. And Lynn, the producer and camera woman, and Wind Beneath My Wings, will be reading to me the questions as best that she can, and whatever we don't answer on the air, we will absolutely answer once we are off the air. So
keep in mind, I'm flipping between 5 different groups,
yes.
So I can be a little bit slow, or I might miss you.
Correct. She is flipping from groups to groups to groups, because this is also going on my personal Facebook stuff and YouTube. So welcome to any YouTubers who are watching now. All right, so I'm gloving up, we're touching raw meat, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to open this bag. I like to do it over at the sink. I'm going to see if I can get away with not doing it at the sink because we are doing a live video. I'm going to cut it open, break the seal. I want to try not to spill any of the juices, which we have come to know is not blood, it is myoglobin. And completely different than hemoglobin. All right, using, of course, a sharp knife. I'm using my boning knife without cutting into the meat. Just going to slowly run our blade, cut this puppy open. And I hope you guys are all having a wonderful Saturday today. Perfect day for doing some live videos. All right, so here, of course, I'm going to do 2-layer paper towel. And this is really all you need to do is to blot it dry, because you don't want to put it in wet like this, because it'll make a mess inside your Steakager. And nobody wants that. All right, slippery. There we go.
And zoom in a bit on that.
Yep. All right, success. Fantastic. All right, this is a beauty. This one is a 17 and almost 1/4 pounds. And of course, we want to blot it dry. Here is the bottom side. Some of you guys can see that. This is where the rib bones would be. You know, so I like to, make sure I wipe in between those. And sometimes I will take my knife and cut this flush, just because this just gets all dry and you end up cutting it off anyway, but that's okay.
It doesn't look too bumpy today.
Look, it is. They're kind of laying down.
Okay.
All right, so we're just, again, patting this dry really well. All right. You flip it over. Come on. All right, so now we get our first look at the fat cap side. Woo!
That just shook everything.
Nice. All right, so not the greatest fat cap. This I got at a big box store, but they're prime. The marbling is fantastic, so we went with it. So yeah, I would like it a little bit thicker here, but the Pro 40 dry ages so gently that it's really not going to be an issue. Doesn't seem to be too many butcher mishaps, maybe right here, but that's fine, totally fine. Today, you guys have seen me truss it using the speed trussing racks that are in development. Today, I'm going to go old school. We're going to truss it the regular way. Anyone that's new to Steakager, a Steakager family, is considering a Steakager, welcome. We do these videos quite often, so you'll get a world of knowledge, not just from me, but from the members of the Steakager family group. All right, here we go. Beautiful thing. Now, I'm going to lay fat side down because when I'm using my twine, it's just easier to slide it on the smooth surface than this bumpy surface. All right. I'm going to take my gloves off because they tend to get caught up in the twine. I'm using this. This is I believe it's a 24 gauge cotton butcher's twine. It's available on Amazon. I've got it on this little spool thing, makes life easier. And I like to just sit it in my drawer here. Or you could actually sit it down on the floor and pull it up. You just want easy access to it. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to take the string and like you're flossing your teeth, you're going to slide it all the way to the end. And let's address why we're going to do this. Because, Lynn, if you can get this side view.
Yep.
So here we've got the ribeye. This almost looks like a New York strip because the weight of it has it flattening. And as it dry ages, it's going to flatten even more. So if I truss it up nice and tight, you can see what you're going to get is you're just going to get a nicer steak. So you want that thickness, and plus it's going to allow this subprimal to dry age more evenly. And that's what we want. Even Steven. All right, actually, you know what? I'm going to start from this end. So I'm going to go right here. Give myself enough. I want to leave a little bit extra so I can make a loop. And I'm going to tie it. Now when I tie it with butcher's twine, just like tying a shoe, but I like to wrap it 3 times because when you do that, it'll hold better. All right, and you can see I'm getting that nice form. I did 2 times. Got that nice form. And that string will tend to hold better. I'm going to go ahead and complete this knot. And if you have to, before you tie it tight, just cinch up on it and then pull. Beautiful. So now we've got enough to make a loop if I need to at the end, which we like to do. All right, from here, I'm going to reach in with my hand like this. We're going to come around and I'm going to slide it underneath. So I'm basically making a cinch knot. And as you pull on it, and get this in the front.
Let's see if I can get a better angle of that.
Yeah. So I'm going to pull on it and it tightens down. Tighten and pull up.
How tight do you go?
Well, you don't want to dig too much into the meat.
Oops, sorry guys.
So you just have to, you just have to go by feel. All right, but you don't want to do it too loose. I have an example of what happens when you do it too loose. You don't get the effect that we're looking for. So again, loop, slide it along. I want to make sure that my loop is free. And that's what you're going to get.
I'm going to come on to your other side because I keep getting your lefty in there.
Okay. That's a good idea. All right, hold it underneath. Bring it around. Slide it through. Cinch it up. You can go in between each bone. Make some sense. So, all right, underneath, flip it around, slide it through, cinch it up. Pull it down, pick it up.
You got Bart Johnson out there.
Hey Bart.
He's new to the fam.
Welcome.
He has his first bone-in ribeye in his Pro 40 for the last 15 days.
Nice. Every once in a while you're going to have to pick up the roast to get that string underneath. It's totally fine. Cinch. And let me just say, this does take practice. So, if you don't have the time to practice or you just don't feel like it, you could lay down strips of twine, lay the roast on it, and tie them up individually. You can also do it that way.
I also see Elle out there. He said aloha.
Hey, Elle.
And howdy, of course.
Always a pleasure, my friend.
And we have John Lynch from Florida.
Oh, John. So again, practice, it makes perfect. You don't even need it to be perfect unless you want to try and impress your girlfriend or your wife or your friends, or take really good pictures.
So you need it to be perfect then?
Yeah. Every day I got to impress my girlfriend.
Absolutely. We have Shona, he said love it. I see Perry Creamy out there.
Ah, Mr. Creamy.
Where's the beef?
There is the beef, my friend.
We also have Brian Lau saying hello.
Hey, Brian. All right. Nice. You're working your way down.
And we've got Cade and Jeffrey Harrington.
What's up, Jeff? Cade. I think Jeff is going to need to do some trussing soon.
Oh yeah. And you got Josh Kaysen. He's watching from Atlanta.
Ah, nice.
And Eric Lane from Arizona.
Eat at Fox Brothers for me, please.
Yes.
And Gus's chicken while you're at it. So you can see if those who have seen that speed rack, the speed rack is a lot quicker. But you know what? It's Saturday. What else we got to do?
2 more videos.
Yeah, you can bang those out in no time.
Yeah. For the folks that just joined, want to just tell them what else you're doing today?
Yep. So we're trussing up this roast, getting ready to load up our Steakager Pro. In my case, it's a 40. And then we're going to click off, come right back, and we're going to do a breakdown of one that is a good example of what happens if you don't tie it tight enough. But you'll see what I mean when we get there. All right.
It'll still taste good.
It'll still taste amazing, I'm sure.
What else are you doing today?
And then we're going to come back a third time and jumping into charcuterie mode. And we're going to finally, after 4 months, a 4-month journey, we are going to check out the Genoa salami that's been in my Steakager Pro dual mode since April. I'm very excited about that. All right, guys, so we're at the last, and again, does not need to be pretty. Just like that. Now, we're going to flip it over and see how even of a job I did. Remember, I got this loop right here. All right, so I'm going to flip it over, keeping some tension on the twine because I don't want it to loosen up. All right, so you know what? You can straighten these out if you want. Really doesn't matter. If you really want it to look pretty. All right. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come across and I'm going to cut. I always overcut. I give myself definitely more twine than I actually need because, you know, I don't want to have to tie pieces together. All right, so what I think I'm going to try and do, I'm going to try and do 2 loops. All right, I'll do one. Pick it up. Let's see if I gave myself enough. Come around, yes. All right, so I gave myself 2 loops because it's good to use these pieces.
Kind of balances it out.
To hang. Yeah, exactly. See, Lynn knows. Plus, if you have the weight distributed over 2,
Oops. Sorry, guys.
what happened? Oh.
They're looking at our cabinets.
Oh, if you have the weight distributed over 2 strands of twine, there's less likely, you know, that it will break, especially if you're using a thinner gauge. All right. So I'm going to tie these together as tightly as I can, because we're hanging from these, so it doesn't really matter. That's it. So this is digging in at the end here, but you're going to be cutting that end off anyway. And don't be afraid to kind of reposition and all that. It's again, not rocket science, guys.
I think I remember the first time we hung them that you just had it hanging through the center, the loop through the center, and kind of
Yep.
dug into it a bit.
Yep, exactly. So that's it. I'm going to leave this because you never know if I'm going to need it later on. And I'm going to load this into the Steakager. And when we come back, we're going to break down the, 35-day ribeye that I have in there. So don't go away because we're coming back in literally
5 minutes.
5